What's going on, everyone? Thrift Barringer here live from the Beck Center studio, virtual studios. It is inside the GIAA on GIAA.tv. Big Rich Rambler and recently retired Richard Holdridge. How about Big Rich? Retiring for the military. It happened. It's finally here. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, Thrift. It's time to go to work. Yeah, we got a lot to cover here on Inside the GIAA, including the swim state championships that are happening this weekend at Georgia Tech. We've got the dual matches for wrestling, and of course, we're dropping those basketball rankings.
Yeah, so I cannot wait to be able to go in and dissect all those, because guess what, Rich? Quarterfinals is coming up February 20th and 21st. Semifinals the next week. State finals, it's already here. Swimming championships just happened. We're going to give updates on that. Dual state championships did not happen because of the weather, Richard, if I'm correct. And they had to reschedule that. So we'll talk about those dates that were moved. And we've got a great show in store for you today. Now, I did want to start off the show with this. Last week, Richard, when we're doing the show, me and you were talking about reclassification, and we got something wrong, and we want to admit fully that we apologize for this. Stuff happens. We're going to make mistakes, but obviously we should have been more prepared in this regard, Richard. As Sherwood Christian will be playing not in 1A classification. That is not right. They will not be playing against Flint River and Robert Toombs. I don't know what classification they will be playing in. I think that information has not came out yet. Now, it is official. They are moving to 11-man football. Now, that is for sure. I think rumor has it they may be in the 2A, but I don't have that information for sure yet. I did not get that confirmation other than they are 11-man football. So I just want to clarify that. I know last week, Richard, we both talked about them being in 1A, assuming with them moving up from 8-man, they were going to go to that. That's not, we shouldn't assume. We should have got more information, but we were right in the principle that they are going to be an 11-man football team.
Yeah, and I made the mistake of assuming they're going to be in 1A, but that's why we have people that watch this show faithfully that have to correct us. It's not confirmed what classification Sherwood Christian is going to be in. All we know, like you mentioned, Thrift, is that they are going to be playing 11-man football next year. But that means that they could play all the 11-man teams. 8-man teams can't play 11-man teams. So you're going to see end up seeing those matchups you've been wanting to see for a long time now.
Yeah, 100%, man. So just want to put that first off disclaimer out there. We're going to make sure we have all the possible information we have, but we were correct in the fact that Sherwood is moving on to 11-man football, and any other information that we get like that, I promise you that is why we do the show, to update everyone on what is going on around the GIAA. Now, I hope everyone of North Georgia that had experienced that ice, Richard, was safe this past weekend. Dual championships were supposed to happen, Richard, and obviously because of the weather, you got to take precautions. So there were no dual championships this past weekend. They will be February 3rd now at George Walton. So February 3rd is the dual state championships, and when it is getting moved. And then the state wrestling state championships is February 6th and 7th at Riverside Preparatory. So it's going to be a busy week next week.
Yeah, it is.
So February 3rd, that is next Tuesday. And then that next Friday and Saturday, they're going to be doing the team state championships.
Yeah.
Individual, excuse me.
Yeah. So we got individuals. We got the swimming championship that's going to be at Georgia Tech coming up this week. Just looking at, and I'm on the GIAA website right now, trying to multitask. I don't know why it's, So we know about that, and we'll keep you informed on all the championships. We know, there it is. Wrestling's at the bottom of the page, and my computer just does not want me to act right. Like you mentioned, the state duels are going to be rescheduled, and then the state traditional as planned February 6th through the 7th.
So looking forward to keeping up with that. And I know we're going to have a lot of fun next week. So February Frenzy is upon us, and we have dual state championships, individual wrestling. we have baseball starting and then basketball. So it's just going to be nonstop moving and
One
grouping.
after the other.
Soccer is already here. I mean, just an incredibly busy time in spring sports starting, winter sports ending around the GIAA. All right, Rich, let's talk about those swimming state championships. As we made mention, they had theirs a few. Is it this weekend? Oh,
Yeah,
excuse me.
it's this weekend.
This weekend. Yes. This weekend is the state championships for swimming.
Yeah, they just had archery, and Calvary Christian won the archery championship. That was on the 10th of January.
Yep, that was the last time we had a state championship. We were supposed to give updates on wrestling this past weekend, but again, because of the inclement weather, we were not able to do that. But swimming state championships will be at Georgia Tech. This Saturday. So cannot wait to get the results, the times, and see who had an amazing season. So cannot wait to talk about those swim state championships coming up, Big Rich. All right.
Yeah.
What we're going to do now, Rich, is we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, you know what time it is, Rich. Rankings came out on Monday. And by the way, we already had some teams win, some teams lose, so probably even more shakeups. This is what happens when you have rankings that come out on Sunday night, Monday, and we don't talk about it till Wednesday, and they got a game in between. But we'll talk about that in just a moment here on GIAA.tv.
This copyrighted broadcast, presented exclusively on GIAA.tv, is copyrighted by the Georgia Independent Athletic Association, a division of the Georgia Independent School Association, for the private use of our audience. It may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the Georgia Independent School Association.
So many of y'all saw that I was looking at my phone before we went to break, and that's because I wanted to read something put out by the GIAA, Richard. GIAA is aware of the potential impending weather across the state, which it could impact travel conditions statewide. We ask each of you to be proactive in monitoring the potential conditions in your area and plan accordingly regarding regular season games. Our office has been actively assessing the situation, and it's possible effects and upcoming GIAA sporting events, including the state swim meet, which is scheduled this Saturday, as we talked about. We'll continue to monitor the conditions and update you as more information becomes available. Thank you again for staying alert, making plans that are best for your school. And that was GIAA Associate Commissioner Clint Morgan. Again, just taking precautions, and nothing has been decided yet. This is just a message that is wanting to be pushed out right now. Let's take precautions. Let's see what happens. And hopefully everybody stays safe. And I know at Big Rich, we're excited about potentially having those swim state championships.
Yeah. Exciting. Last year it was at Georgia Tech. We have the individuals, of course, the team, and hopefully they'll get those state championships in.
All right, Rich, let's do it. Roll it. Girls basketball 1A classification will be the first that goes down. Remember, ABAC is the home of the 1A and 2A semifinals that will be coming up February the 25th and 26th. Big Rich, let's talk about them. Number 10, remember, 12 teams are in the playoffs. So number 12 is Grace Christian, Westwood on the outside, Covenant out, Highland out, and Atlanta Jewish Academy out. Grace Christian Academy in, John Hancock in. Now let's talk about the top 10. And those two teams are in. John Hancock Academy, number 11. Grace Christian will be the 12 seed. Number 10, Flint River at 6 and 8. Thomas Jefferson comes in 3 and 11. And some of these records may be different because I'm looking at the updated ones. The ones Richard made may still have from when we put this out on Monday. Number 9, Thomas Jefferson. Number 8, Twigs Academy. Number 7, Crisp, 11 and 9. David Emmanuel comes in at number 6. David Emmanuel did get a win this week. They are 10-9 on the season. 5, Fullington Academy, 13-5. St. George comes in at number 4. Robert Toombs, number 3. Citizens Christian, number 2. And the number 1 team is Memorial Day. Richard, really 1 through 5. All 5 of those teams, I think, have a legitimate chance to win a state championship. Very interchangeable. Obviously, the rating looks much better for Memorial Day, but their strength of schedule is not that great. What's your thoughts on the top 10 for 1A?
Well, Memorial Day got a big win over Citizens Christian on the road, 55-36 yesterday. So that really is going to help their case to get a number 1 seed. Remember, these rankings were put out on Sunday night, Monday morning. So I think Memorial Day is going to have a strong case to stay at number 1 when the new rankings come out next week. And just looking around the area, of course, you've had Crisp Academy ended up defeating Grace Christian on the road, 54-24. That was definitely a big win. Westminster Christian over Monsignor Donovan, 54-16. We've also had, I'm looking at just the 1A classification. We just basically, these were some of the scores from Tuesday. So far, we've had just Tuesday for the action for girls basketball.
All right, now let's continue on and let's go to the boys. The boys have 19 teams in 1A classification. Richard Twiggs out, Flint River out, John Hancock out, David Emmanuel out, Fullington Academy out, Crisp Academy, Covenant Academy. All those teams would be out of the playoffs if it started today. Who would be in? Westwood at number 12 seed and 11 seed Thomas Jefferson. Westwood 7-11. Thomas Jefferson, it's 5-9, but I will tell you Covenant is right on Westwood's heel. Let's talk about the top 10. Number 10, Highland comes in at 6-9. Grace Christian, 7-9. Memorial Day comes in at number 8. Atlanta Jewish Academy, number 7. How about LaGrange Academy? 9-7 comes in at number 6. Number 5 is Robert Toombs. Number 4, St. George's. Number 3, Oak Mountain Academy, 16-4 on the year. Citizens Christian, we know about them, Richard. 17-5 is Citizens Christian. They were able to get a win over Memorial Day after back-to-back losses against First Preparatory and Robert Toombs.
How about that?
So now they're 17-5 as they able to beat Memorial Day. And number 1 team in the 1A classification is FPCA. The Highlanders are 13-3 on the season. And how about head coach Shane Smith having a good start to the year? What are some of the teams that are standing out with this, Rich?
Well, First Preparatory Christian out of Hinesville, Georgia, because I saw their championship banner when I was there over the summer. They got a big win over Robert Toombs on Tuesday, 85-59. And I'm just looking around 1A, some of the other scores. Westminster Christian defeated Monsignor Donovan 61-51. Looking and seeing, Riverside Military. Thomas Jefferson defeated John Hancock 76-60. And then that's about it. There's not a whole lot as far as the 1A classification goes. As far as scores, I think that, So that's pretty much the scores from Tuesday. Remember, when the rankings came out on Sunday, we had Tuesday games. Not all the scores have been updated. I know, a little bit different than when we do the high school football scoreboard show. I've wanted to do a basketball scoreboard show, to kind of get that from, because Tuesday is that big day where we have mostly high school basketball games.
All right, Rich, let's continue on. And now let's go to the girls classification for 2A. St. Mary's would be out. Holy Spirit Prep, 18 would be out. Monsignor Donovan, 17. Augusta Prep, Heritage Preparatory, Furtop Prep, and Westminster, not Westminster. And for the person that told me that's how it sounds, shame on them for having me say it wrong. But Westminster Christian Academy, 13. They are right on the heels of the number 12 seed, who got a big win over Pacelli last week, which is surprising. They still at number 12, Heritage. Number 11, Central Fellowship. Both them teams would be in the playoffs. Number 10, Sherwood Christian. Number 9, Georgia Christian. Number 8, Briarwood. Number 7, Southland. And number 6, Edmund Burke. Top 5, Windsor Academy, Gatewood. Southwest Georgia, number 3. Number 2, Trinity Christian. The number 1 team in 2A at 20-4 is the Brentwood War Eagles. Rich, what are you thinking?
Well, first of all, Southwest Georgia Academy got a big win over the 3A Tift area. That was at home. I think that's going to help plead their case. Brentwood went on the road to defeat Central Fellowship out of Macon, 49-26. I think that Brentwood is going to stay at that top of that number 1 position. And I like what I see so far. Just keep an eye on Gatewood. They got a pretty good record. They're kind of in that sneaky number 4 seed spot. Remember, the first 4 teams will get first-round byes. They won't play until the quarterfinals, which we'll have all the quarterfinals in Macon at Tatnall, Stratford, First Presbyterian Day. It's going to be incredible. Cannot wait.
Don't forget, we are presented by the Beck Center, and we are in the Beck Center studios, Rich. Just want to make sure everybody knows that. As you see, we appreciate Roger Beck and the Beck Center.
We got the Beck.
Let's go to 2A boys, Rich. Same thing, 19 teams. Gatewood out, Windsor, Monsignor Donovan, Edmund Burke, Georgia Christian, Briarwood, and St. Mary's would not make the playoffs. Holy Spirit Prep and Trinity Christian both in at 11-12. And here's the top 10. Sherwood, number 10. Augusta Prep, number 9. Number 8, Westminster Christian Academy. Number 7, Southland. Number 6, Southwest Georgia. Number 5, Heritage Preparatory. Number 4, Central Fellowship. Brentwood comes in at number 3, and they just got a loss this past week, Richard, by the way.
Lost to Central
Fellowship this week. And
yes,
so they go to 18-2. I wonder if that would jump Central Fellowship for next week into the top 3. Fertile Prep, 15-6, comes in at number 2. And we know about Fertile Prep. And they're really
champions.
Really well-coached team. Head coach David Whitley, known him. And think he's done an amazing job with Fertile.
Yes,
and then the number 1 team in 2A at 19-4. It just seems like that's just what they do. And that is Coach Job Jerome and Heritage. They graduate top players. Don't matter. They come in with a freshman, putting up 14 a game. Their second leading scorer is an 8th grader. So, Richard, 8th grader and a freshman lead this team. They are 19-4. And by the way, went to Pacelli and won in overtime against them. They have been playing excellent ball. They have not lost a game since December the 27th, which was against Marietta High School, Richard, which is a public school in 6A of Georgia. So that's how good this Heritage team is. And they're number 1 for a reason. Big Rich, look at the top 10. What are you seeing? Who is someone that you think can maybe make a move up?
Well, I actually think that Central Fellowship, after getting the win over Brentwood, can move up. Heritage is just playing lights out, beating 4A Pacelli. They were supposed to play Atlanta Jewish Academy on Tuesday. I think that game got postponed because it got forfeited. Yeah, but was it because of the inclement weather in Atlanta? They just couldn't make the trip?
That's a good question.
I'm wondering if they just didn't show up because that's a 1A school they're playing, and they just beat a 4A school. So, we'll have to get clarification on that. But, I honestly think, Thrift, that the championship once again is going to be Heritage and Fertile Prep. So we've seen it too many times. But there are some teams like Central Fellowship, Brentwood, Southland Academy that could make a run. But we'll see how it goes. I like where Heritage and Fertile Prep are at.
Let's go to 3A girls. And we got a team that's still undefeated. And the only undefeated team we have in the entire GIAA, that's Frederica. The Frederica Academy Knights out of St. Simon's Island is 15-0. I just want to throw that out there. Started off first, but 14 teams in 3A. Valwood and Brookwood out, but Brookwood right there behind Deerfield Windsor, who would be in right now in the playoffs as a 12 seed. Piedmont would be a number 11 seed. Top 10, Pinewood. St. Andrews, number 9. At Tift area, number 8. Dominion Christian, number 7. And again, Dominion Christian straight the schedule is absolutely atrocious, which is I don't want to say atrocious. Let me rephrase that. Their strength of schedule is not up to others that are in front of them, which is why they have a record at 15-4, and someone with a 9-11 record is above them. John Miller's number 6. Number 5 is Westminster Schools of Augusta. Number 4, Lakeview. They're always in the championship. Number 3, Terrell Academy. Coach Idrill's got a really good program. Westfield comes in at number 2, and they had what a shocker, Richard. They able to take down Brookstone in a really good game, 49-46 last night at Brookstone. Back and forth was a lot of fun to be able to watch. And they come in as the number 2 team, are Westfield, and they are led by none other than head coach Mason Nelson. And Ken Fowler is on is an assistant coach with them. So great job by Westfield, and the number 1 team, undefeated yet again, and are led by Edward Wilson, is Frederica at 15-0.
Yeah, it's been impressive so far for Frederica. I've been impressed. Westfield School not only beating Deerfield Windsor, but getting the big win over Brookstone. Lakeview Academy, who's ranked 4th in the 3A rankings, they lost to Athens Christian. That was a region game. Athens Christian's a good 4A team. They're the number 1 team in 4A. We've had, I'm looking at Terrell Academy and Tift area. This would be considered a game of the week if we had game of the week for 3A girls. Terrell Academy gets the 54-21 victory in Dawson.
Nice.
And so the number 3, Terrell Academy, able to take down Tift area. And then just looking across the 3A, John Millage falls to Tatnall at home.
Maybe they were the surprise team last year, Rich.
They were, yeah. And you had Alawella Community beating Briarwood Academy. I know Briarwood's a 3A school. Trinity Christian over Windsor Academy. I'm just going down just trying to see if there's any other. Southland Academy ends up beating Sherwood Christian 45-38. And that looks like it's pretty much 3A. Like you mentioned, the Heritage Girls forfeited against Atlanta Jewish as well. I'm wondering if that has to do with the weather. So they're not going to remake that game, so they're just giving the win to Atlanta Jewish. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm guessing too, Rich, which we'll find out.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I was choking there. All right, let's go to the boys. All right, boys time, Big Rich. And let's talk about the 3A boys classification. Coming in at number, by the way, there are 14 teams. Terrell and Westminster both out, Schools of Augusta. Pinewood would be in at number 12 seed, and Dominion would be 11 seed. Piedmont, number 10, 10-10. John Millage, number 9. Frederica, number 8. Westfield School had a battle with Brookstone last night. Lost, comes in at number 7. Valwood, number 6. Tift area, number 5. Lakeview comes in at number 4. 17-6 on the season. Number 3 is St. Andrews, defending champion. Number 2 is Deerfield Windsor. And number 1 is Brookwood, 20-3, undefeated in their region, Rich.
How about this upset? Valwood takes down Deerfield Windsor 54-44. I think that Valwood's going to go up in the rankings next week. Deerfield Windsor might go down. I'm not sure about that. It was Piedmont beating the 4A Mount de Sales 49-42. And we've also, man, John Millage ends up defeating Tatnall 49-47. Pinewood lost to Bullock Academy. That is a 4A school.
Yep.
And we had Tift area ended up defeating Terrell Academy 64-26. Athens Christian defeated Lakeview 73-52. St. Andrews getting the big win over Westminster. I believe that's Westminster Schools of Augusta.
Yep.
Yeah, a big win over there. A lot of action around the GIAA on Tuesday night. Briarwood, they lost. They were playing a non-GIAA school, and that is about it. Brookwood actually played on Monday. They played on the road against a non-GIAA school, a school out of Tallahassee, Florida, named Childs, the Timberwolves from Childs out of Tallahassee. So Brookwood, I think that Brookwood's going to stay at number one. I don't know how good Childs is, but they're out of Tallahassee, so that's about 30 minutes away from Thomasville. So they're getting a good non-region win.
All right, let's go to 4A girls. And 4A girls, they have 16 teams: Fulton Science, Calvary Christian, Tatnall, and Strong Rock all would be out. By the way, Calvary Christian was able to get their first win of the season over Community Christian last week, which I know that was a big opportunity for them. So both those teams are out. All three of those teams or 4 of those teams are out. Number 12, Brookstone, 9-9 now with that loss to Westfield. Tallulah Falls comes in number 11. Top 10, Bethlehem Christian, Bullock, number 9. How about this, Rich? Dropping all the way down to number 8 is Pacelli. They were able to get a win this past week, but again, Pacelli comes in at number 8. Number 7, FPD. Number 6, Kings Academy. Number 5, Loganville. Number 4, Mount DeSales. Number 3, Stratford. Number 2, George Walton. And number 1, Athens Christian. Man, that top 3 is loaded, Rich.
Yo, it really is. But and how about Mount DeSales? 15-2. They got a win on the road against Piedmont Academy. They are really making the Macon schools proud. I mean, you think of the top GIAA schools. Mount DeSales has a great flag football team. They've been a little down in basketball. They've been a little down in football. To see Mount DeSales back on top, that community's got to be excited. I know that campus is very tight knit. I know they play like off campus, but seeing them on top, that's great to see. And then Stratford, rivalry week into GIAA, getting a big win over FPD in Macon. The battle for Macon. 63-43. So that was a good win for Stratford Academy, who remains at number 3. I think that they're going to stay at number 3. And then you also have Pacelli getting a win over Calvary Christian. I mean, that the rival in there in Columbus. Looking down the list, obviously Athens Christian. We talked about them at beating Lakeview, the 3A school. So yeah, I think when the rankings come out next week, there's not going to be a whole lot of movers and shakers. I'm looking on this scoreboard. I don't see a whole lot of upsets.
All right, Rich, let's go to the 4A boys classification. All right, number 18 teams: Riverside Military out, Strong Rock out, Cristo Rey out, Stratford out, Fulton Science out, FPD out. Wow.
What's going on?
12, Brookstone. 11, Bullock. Now let's talk about the top 10. Mount DeSales, number 10. Tatnall Square, number 9. Tallulah Falls, they were up as high as number 3. They're now at 8. Loganville, 7. Athens Christian beat Lakeview. They beaten George Walton, Rich. They beaten Bethlehem Christian. Athens Christian, really good, and they come in at number 6. Don't worry about that record. They played an incredibly tough schedule. Number 5, George Walton. They were as high as number 1 earlier this year. Calvary losing to Pacelli as bad as they did. They may drop. They're at number 4. Number 3, Kings Academy. Number 2, Bethlehem Christian. And the number 1 team is St. Anne Pacelli, Rich.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I would not be fooled by that record. Pacelli has played a lot of great teams, and that's why they are number 1. They were off to a slow start to start the season. but I think they're going to hold serve on that number one spot. There is no question about it. Just looking down the scores, obviously Brookstone getting a 1-point win over Westfield. That is impressive. Brookstone's hanging on for that 12th and final playoff spot. Piedmont Academy beating Mount DeSales. Mount DeSales, will they drop as they try to get into the playoffs? And then obviously Calvary is probably going to drop, getting blown out by Pacelli. First Presbyterian Day beating Stratford. Both they need help to try to get into the playoffs. That's going to be a tough ask for both teams. It's unusual to see both teams down as far as they are. How about this? The Keens Academy beating XL Christian, who is a member of the Gaps. The Keens Academy, who's really been the surprise of the GIAA, entering their second year in the GIAA. And they are getting a big win over there. So those are the scores from Tuesday night. And again, not a whole lot of upsets. And some of the teams haven't played on Tuesday nights because of the inclement weather.
Yeah, so we'll see how these play out. But, man, it's been an interesting time for sure, Rich. And glad that we're able to go into those rankings. Looking forward to when they drop again next Monday. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap it up here inside the GIAA on GIAA.tv.
Founded in 1985, the Georgia Independent School Association proudly represents nearly 170 accredited private, independent, and parochial schools across the state. From Tallulah Falls to St. Simon's Island, from Columbus to Augusta, our schools serve over 76,000 students every year. Whether parents are interested in smaller class sizes, more individual attention, a religious-based curriculum, or a safe and structured environment, the GISA provides a strong education, which is the foundation for success. To learn more about the GISA and how they can serve your school, visit us online at www.gisaschools.org.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Hey, man, we've had a lot of fun here, Richard, and maybe we can change that background so we can still see. Oh, there's the backup at the top. Thank you, Big Rich, and we've had fun. Any other news and notes you want to kind of drop on us, Big Rich, is other than everybody stay safe and be warm in this cold weekend we got coming up?
Yeah, like you mentioned, I mean, we're having spring sports that are going to be starting next week. I'm trying to figure out like when the next baseball games are going to happen because it's cold out there. They're going to try to play these games, and then before you know it, we're going to have soccer, tennis, track and field. I mean, we're going to have the spring sports coming up. I do want to make mention because this was the week that baseball teams were allowed to practice. The first game is going to be February the 4th. So and I don't know if that's going to be a scrimmage, but it's Crisp Academy and Mount DeSales. That is the first scheduled baseball game according to the GIAA. We did confirm that Brookstone, the defending two-time 4A champions, is playing a GHSA school. That's a 4A school in Columbus called Northside. We did confirm that's a scrimmage. Even though the GIAA schedule has them on the schedule to play on February the 6th, that game is a scrimmage. So not sure if these early games are going to be scrimmages also.
All right. Well, make sure that you get all your news and information from GIAAsports.org. That's where we get our information. That's GIAAsports.org. On behalf of Richard Holdridge, I'm Thrift Barringer saying thank y'all so much for watching here on this cold Wednesday night in January. We're turning the month. We're going to February. And before you know it, we'll have basketball state championships coming up. We'll see you next time. Have a great night, everyone.
GIAA.tv now brings you more live coverage of more sports than ever before. Announcing GIAA.tv Lite with live coverage of swim, wrestling, cheer, and more. GIAA.tv Lite is the next best thing to being there. From one screen, you will hear the crowd, see the action, the scores, the stats, and more. With no play-by-play or instant replays, GIAA.tv Lite is half the price of our regular broadcast. Announcing GIAA.TV Plus. With all of your fan favorites, GIAA.TV Plus now adds volleyball, softball, all-star football, and more. Featuring all the play-by-play, instant replays, multiple angles, and more, all for less than the cost of 2 adult tickets to the event. Don't miss 1 second of the action all year long, only on GIAA.TV.